let me introduce today's speaker. So we have got an opportunity to hear from Amit Agarwal. So if I talk about him, so basically he is an salespreneur and an author who has written 2 books like Sales, Small is Big and the Ultimate Sales Accelerator. So talking about him, he is actually an IIM alumni who has sold in 23 countries across bootstrapped Series A, B, C, D startups. Right. And he has even coined terms salespreneurs and created a new sales strategy use case selling. So where we have got an opportunity to hear from such a speaker, I don't want to take much of your time and I want to introduce Amit and I want to request Amit if he can take it forward and give us an opportunity to learn something today.
Thank you very much, Alicia, for the warm introduction. Welcome to everybody on the call. Before we start, where are you joining from? If you can use the chat window and please type the city where you are joining from. Surat, Mumbai, Ahmedabad. Okay, Bangalore. Dubai. Oh, we see Melbourne, Australia. Okay, thanks for sharing. Chennai. Oh, very good. Thank you very much for sharing. So this is how in the spirit, how do we learn? We learn by 2 things. One is by practicing, another by sharing. So we'll do both in this 1 hour webinar. We'll practice and we'll share. Okay. On that note, let's move forward. We are discussing about sales. But what does the word sales mean? I will play a video, and I just play and pause it to see if everybody is able to see. If you are not, then I will paste the link also. Are you able to just type yes or no? I mean, if somebody is not able to see, type no. Okay, it's working. Okay, it's working. Thank you. I will play it now.
I've been a bit concerned about the negative perception on sales. Very often, sales is associated with used car salesmen, isn't it? Somebody who's sleazy, pushy, aggressive. I was recently talking to a business school professor and he shared something very interesting. He said very, very few students apply for sales job while doing their MBA. I was talking to a CEO and he said, sales वालों को थोड़ा तो झूठ बोलना चाहिए. Another senior executive said, sales वालों को जुगाड़ू होना चाहिए. As I reflected on these negative vibes, I was looking for an answer. What does the word sales truly represent? I found my answer in a morning meditation. The word sales represents S for serve, A for authenticity, L for love, E for expertise, and S for smile. Serve with authenticity, love, expertise, and smile. Serve. Imagine if sales owners start seeing sales as an act of service. Authenticity. There is no faff, there is no lie, there is no jugaad. Authenticity. Love. Love for the product, love for the company, love for clients. Expertise. Imagine when a sales owner is an expert in the area or the product or service which he or she is representing. Will it not serve the customers better? This always works. Do all of the above while smiling. When we combine these things together, serve with authenticity, love, expertise, and smile, we get the true spirit of sales. Thank you.
Okay, so before we start the 3 accelerators, which part of the video, the definition of sales, serve with authenticity, love, expertise, and smile, which word connected the most with you? You can please type in the chat window. Okay. Okay. I would request everybody to participate, because see, when you participate, your knowledge automatically increases. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for participating. Okay. Now let's discuss the 3 accelerators. As you know, these 3 accelerators are metaphor, magic of one thing in sales, and most few none. There are 26 accelerators in the book, The Ultimate Sales Accelerator, which is currently on pre-order. The book is releasing on December 26th. The Maha Accelerator, or the Ultimate Sales Accelerator, is use case selling, which is the sales strategy, which requires much longer duration or longer sessions. That is the Maha Accelerator, and there are 25 more accelerators. So out of those 25 accelerators, I have chosen 3 here, which will help you. Okay. Before we start, let's do this poll. Alicia, can you please do this poll?
Yes, sure, Amit.
If you have to pick one skill for developing yourself as an extraordinary salesperson, which one will you pick? I would request everybody to participate in these polls. When we participate, we are not only increasing our knowledge, we are contributing to others. Yes, so whenever you get a chance, Alicia, you can stop the poll. You can share the results. Okay, so the result says 46% says storytelling, 43% said subject matter expertise, 12% said public speaking. So it's very close. What is interesting part is that, storytelling and subject matter expertise go hand in hand, but the close winner is storytelling. And one of the things which we will be discussing today, which is metaphor, is the easiest form to become a great storyteller. And you will find that in few minutes. So we are using metaphors all the time. You are my sunshine. A mother is telling her daughter, or a lover is telling the other lover, don't fight like cats and dogs. This is typically parents telling their children. And let's crush it, guys. Who says this? Let's crush it, guys. Can you please type? Let's crush it, guys. Who says this sentence? Sales leader. Yeah. Anybody else? Who sales? What are you crushing? You're crushing manager. My brain during quarter end. Very good, Ruby. Clap for you. This is a different answer I have got. My brain during quarter end. Okay. What are you crushing? You're crushing target, but actually this is a metaphor when you're crushing a rock, which is equal to crushing a target. So what is the definition of a metaphor? A metaphor is a figure of speech that equates 2 dissimilar things for the sake of comparison or symbolism. The easiest way to remember metaphor is the word dissimilar and symbolism. 2 dissimilar things, you equate that by a symbol. So if you go back, love for children or love for lover is equated by sunshine. Fight is equated by cats and dogs. Crushing a rock is equated by crushing your targets. Is it making sense? Can you figure this out? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, see, this is the way it will go. I will keep presenting and keep asking, so unless you respond back quickly, I will not get the drift. So I would request you, this is a different style of training. So you will have to be very active, and whenever I ask something, and I can assure you one thing, this will be better than workshop style training, 100%, if you participate. Okay, then let's look at some examples of metaphor. So this is in politics area. where in 1981, to highlight the enormity of $1 trillion debt, the US President, Mr. Reagan, said $1 trillion would be stack of $1,000 bills, 67 miles high. Remember the word $1 trillion, 67 miles high, two dissimilar objects for the sake of comparison. I will keep repeating it because if you get that structure, you will be able to create it. Two dissimilar objects. Okay. Now, is metaphor a sign of genius? What do you think? Yes or no? Then I will tell you what some other people think. Is using metaphor a sign of genius? Okay, excellent. Thank you. See what Aristotle says. The greatest thing by far is to be master of metaphor. It is the one thing that cannot be learned from others, and it is also a sign of genius, since a good metaphor implies an intuitive perception of the similarity in dissimilar. You know, the last three words are key. The similarity in the dissimilar. You are my sunshine. You know, let's crush it, guys. You know, all of similarity in dissimilar. Okay. Now, how can you create metaphors? So there are three-part structure, which is you take a situation, choose a point of comparison, and connect using it's like or is like. We'll do some examples. You know, take a situation, choose the point of comparison symbol, and connect using it's like or is like. So let's use some examples. So this is a situation that I've worked last 12 years in startups, you know, and I wanted to share that working in startups, this is my fourth startup. Working in startup is difficult and rewarding compared to large companies, you know. So what did I do? So this was a situation. I choose a comparison symbol. You have to tell me what comparison symbol. I will show you what I wrote and then connect using it's like. So this is a LinkedIn post done. Please read it. Okay, so what is the comparison symbol used here in this metaphor? Can you please type? What is the comparison symbol used in this metaphor? Okay, one is exactly correct, Vishal. One is this English, bouncy English pitch. Very good. What else? There are two metaphors given in this one sentence. Yeah. The second metaphor is Virat Kohli. The second metaphor is Virat Kohli. The first metaphor is bouncy and swinging pitches. You can also say scoring hundreds, but scoring hundreds on bouncing and swinging pitches is one sentence. And then Virat Kohli. If you see how the sentence ends, and most importantly, Virat Kohli. Did you get it? Did you get this? Yes or no? Okay. Yeah. So, you know, now have you noticed? Okay, Manish is saying no. As I said, you have to take a situation, you have to choose a comparison symbol and then join them using the words it's like. The situation is I have to communicate that working in startups and closing deals in startups is difficult yet rewarding in comparison to large companies. How do I explain that? Correct. So I am explaining this when Virat Kohli was in England 2018 and he scored 149. I was watching that match and I wrote this, that winning clients in a startup is like scoring hundreds on bouncy and swinging pitches in England. This is the first comparison because anybody can switch, or To score centuries in India is easier. To score century in England is difficult. And that is like winning clients in startup. And then, so this is the first metaphor, which you got it right. But then in the end, what requires deep focus, and most importantly, Virat Kohli. So all the skills of Virat Kohli are required to be successful in a startup. So these are the two metaphors. So this is the power of metaphor. You can create narratives or stories without knowing the story. You don't have to see Ramayana, this person, that person, or this. No. If you use metaphors, you can be master of narratives. This is just one example. We'll go to the other example. So this is again, sales and stories are like dal and chawal. They are sumptuous when together. Sales and stories are like dal and chawal. They are sumptuous when together. Did you get this? Did you get this? Yeah. Again, you see two dissimilar objects compared and joined through the word is like or are like. Now, how can you use Amitabh Bachchan as a metaphor or Warren Buffett as a metaphor? Can somebody share? How can you use Amitabh Bachchan or Warren Buffett as metaphor? What qualities of Amitabh Bachchan? Let me change the question. What qualities of Amitabh Bachchan or Warren Buffett can be used for metaphor? Yeah. What are the qualities of Amitabh Bachchan or Warren Buffett which can be used for a metaphor? Discipline, legacy, success. Yeah. Okay. Now let me give you an example. Thanks for sharing. Let me give you a consistency. Thank you, Nitish. Thank you. Longevity, success, consistency, legacy, all of that, working till 80 plus years, down to earth. Yeah. So let me share an example in B2B. So we were working in one of the largest bank in Asia, and we had sold a website personalization software there. So the client was using that. However, they will keep asking on a capability which we didn't have, which was data enrichment. And they will ask my team, and the team, were not able to say no. So they will try to help them. But, it's like, a cricket player doing coaching for hockey. How will it work? You are a cricket player and somebody is asking for hockey. So similarly there, the person was asking for data enrichment. We didn't have that skill. So my team told them multiple times it didn't work. So one quarterly business review, I was there, and I also spoke to the head of analytics there. Just changed the name to Ajay. And I said, Mr. Ajay, do you like movies or cricket? He said, I like both. So I said, for website personalization, we are Amitabh Bachchan of website personalization. For data enrichment, we have not even entered the Bollywood right now. We are novices. And that sentence finished. After that, there was no single request from the customer to my team about this data enrichment or this. So you understand the power of metaphor. As I said that, everybody wants to be a great storyteller. This is the easiest form of storytelling. Of course, you have to master it by repeating it. Did you get the drift of Amitabh Bachchan example? Yes or no? Okay, excellent. So this is an exercise which you have to do. So you please do it alone because we are short on time. So we do it alone. So you are in a meeting with a client in Middle East. The client is satisfied with quality, but feels the software is overpriced. This is a situation. The exact country is Kuwait. Anything which I am sharing in this webinar is an experience, which means it is truth. Stories can be concocted, experience can't. This is all truth. So this was a meeting in Kuwait, and we were sitting. Most of the clients were Indian. The people who can write the check, the economic buyer, they were dressed in white robes. They were from the Arab world, And the expression on his face was, he was a bit tensed. His team has told him, it appeared that in terms of quality, this is fine. This software is overpriced. Now, if you have to use, if you have to use a metaphor, what will you use? You have to choose a comparison symbol, and then you have to create a sentence using it's like. Can you please? Yeah, so Keviv has, or while we are happy with quality, your price beats. No, you are the salesperson. Salesperson has to tell, because the client is feeling like this, that the software is good. Manu, if looks like you have attended the seminar earlier. If you have not, then you have nailed it. Yeah. So when I was there, this is what I said. Our software is like Mercedes-Benz at the price of Toyota Corolla. And the moment this was mentioned, the client starts smiling. And if you see the choice of symbols which are used, Mercedes-Benz symbolizes quality. Toyota Corolla symbolizes quality, lesser price. Mercedes-Benz symbolizes quality and higher price. So purposely, two such symbols are chosen which complement each other in terms of client's thinking. Mercedes-Benz quality, Toyota Corolla price. Are you getting it? Oh, Manu is saying, I've read your book. Okay, excellent. Yeah, you should read the new version. There's a lot of new things in that. Okay, Devashri, price is like water in the desert. Okay, did you get this example, guys? Okay, excellent. Okay. Why are metaphors so effective? Please answer this. We have done 3-4 examples of metaphor. Why are they so effective in life, in B2B? Okay, Ruby says, Nitesh, the name of the book is The Ultimate Sales Accelerator. I will give the link towards the end of the webinar. Yeah. Easy to understand, easy correlation, comparison gives quick result. Okay. All of this is absolutely correct. Thank you very much. A round of applause to all of you. Analogy. Okay, excellent. Metaphor will help to keep the point registered in mind. Yes, Devashri, this is correct. It is relatable. It cracks directly to the point, easy to understand, makes things simple, simplicity of comprehension. The most important thing, remember we started with storytelling. Metaphors create visual stories instantaneously. When you say, you are my sunshine, where is the mind going? Sunshine. Don't fight like cats and dogs. 67 miles high. We are Amitabh Bachchan of the craft. Scoring centuries in swinging pitches of England. Virat Kohli. We are Amitabh Bachchan of website personalization. We are newcomers in data enrichment. Where is the mind going? Do you get this drift? Yes. Do you get this drift? Guys, do you get this, that metaphors can create visual and story instantaneously? That's the reason I always say, storytelling is an overrated skill. If somebody masters metaphors itself, I have seen in life and in complex B2B sales in 23 countries, how you can, because you can connect anywhere. What about others? I'm seeing only few people saying yes or no. Guys, this is for your learning. You have come here at 11 a.m. to join this session. Please participate, because this is valuable time. And some of the things which you are learning, I don't think you will get anywhere else. Okay, thank you. Okay. So what you can do is post-session exercise for your top 3 objections in sales. Please use metaphor for objection handling. Not now, once you go home, for your 3 objections in sales, use metaphor. It works like a charm. Use metaphor for sales objections. Okay. Now poll 2, we'll go to the second accelerator. Before that, let's do poll 2. Go ahead, Alicia.
Sure, Amit.
Okay, I would request everybody to participate, please. Okay, you can end the poll. Yeah, share results, please. So it says 24% says, I'm stressed because it is hard to prioritize things, so many activities for client engagement. 27% said, my customers get overwhelmed by the information which is shared with them. And 49% said, even after all the hard work, my customer meetings do not yield outcomes. Okay, thank you for sharing and participating. A round of applause to all of you. Now, what if I tell you the next sutra, if you understand and implement correctly, the next accelerator, which is the magic of one thing in sales, you will address all three of them. I had asked you which one connects the most. However, what if one thing can address all three things? So that is the magic of one thing in sales, how to achieve more in sales by doing less. So what is Pareto principle? As you know, it is 20-80 rule. So what is one thing? So just to give an example, suppose you have been hired by a sales CEO, by CEO of a company to improve sales. And the CEO asks you that please find 100 things in sales which are not good in my company. So you work with your team and you find 100 things. Now, if you apply Pareto principle on those 100 things, Pareto principle says 20% of efforts give 80% of results. So similarly, 20% out of those 100 reasons for sales improvement will give 80% results. So out of 100, if you apply Pareto principle, 20 will come. But if you apply Pareto principle again on 20, then 20% of 20, 4 will come. If you apply Pareto principle on 4, 0.8 or 1 will come. And that is the meaning of one thing, that you have to focus only on one thing. And this is espoused by a book called The One Thing, which is, highly recommended book. The book which changed my life, and this is the book with the entire book is based on one question, which is, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary. Now, it was the same time, December time frame, December 28, 2017. And I was, this is the time frame for what? This is the time frame. December end is the time frame for what, guys? Can somebody write? What do you do towards the end of December? Reflection, resolutions. Yes, New Year resolution. And I was regularly irregular, regular in creating resolutions and irregular in keeping them. So I was fed up with my own behavior, and then I just started reading this book. And on December 28, 2017, it was in Mumbai. I remember I was coming back in the cab ride and I asked this question: what is the one habit I can develop in 2018 such that by developing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary? And the answer came, join the 5 a.m. club. And I joined the 5 a.m. club. The day I woke up in 2018, first week, I woke up, it was very cold. Even Bangalore has winters. And I woke up and the body was saying, don't wake up at all. It is so cold. Let us be in the blanket. Whereas the mind was saying, Arey bhai, you have said yes to only one thing. Please listen to one thing and just get up. So I woke up, and then what I saw is that, okay, I woke up, everybody was slept. I was anyhow thinking, what will I do? I switched on the light and I looked outside. I saw the library rack of books calling me, basically saying, we are sitting here from ages, come and please touch the books and read. So I again picked up the book, one thing, and read for 25-30 minutes. And then the next thing was I went for cycling, I meditated, and I went to office earlier, around 8 a.m. I will reach. I started from office from 3:30 and will reach around before 5. I had my tea. I had my dinner earlier around 7 p.m. and I slept earlier at around 9:15, and I woke up again at 5 a.m. Now, what is happening? All of these things were things which I wanted to do, which is reading, as well as meditating, as well as cycling, as well as going to office early, coming to from office earlier, telling stories to my kid at 9 p.m., sleeping early. Nothing worked. But because of just this one thing, which is 5 a.m., it worked. So what is happening? This is called domino effect. Domino effect. These are all dominoes lined up. I was working only on this domino, and when I tap this domino, everything else start working. These are all resolutions which I was doing and nothing was working, but I focused only on one thing, which is waking up at 5 a.m. and everything else started falling in place, including some other things like practicing gratitude, becoming a writer. I have written 2.5 books. I'm saying half because the new book is expanded and updated edition of the first book. During this time, all because of one micro habit of waking up at 5 a.m., which is happening because of the one thing. Is this clear? Is this concept clear? Then I will tell you how it is applicable in sales. Is it clear? Yeah. This is very powerful, guys. It can change. As you can see, I've started doing this only from 2018, and it has changed so much. Now, how can we use one thing in sales? So there are 3 areas we have picked: client engagement, sales planning, and team and process. So client engagement. So what is the one thing I can achieve in this client meeting such that? So typically when we go to client meetings, there are a lot of times agendas are not there. If agenda is there, we have n numbers of outcomes for that. What if we only focus on one outcome from a client meeting? Only one outcome. I do it all the time. For if I go to, even for this meeting, if you ask me what is out of the 3 principles, what is the one principle you will share? Correct. I will answer it. So it is a habit pattern. By keep asking, what is the one thing I can achieve in this client meeting? If you ask me this question later on, I will not tell you right now, I can answer it. Okay. The second one is, if I have to present only one slide to client, which slide will I present? You have so many slides. If you have to present only one slide, what will you present? Similarly, if you ask me in this presentation, if I have to present only one slide, which will I have the answer? I will not tell you right now. The point is of creating habit. Is it making sense? Yes or no? Okay, guys, thank you. Sales planning. What is the one thing I can achieve in sales in this quarter such that it will de-risk the entire year? You can ask this question. When in one of the financial year, when it was starting in the first quarter, when I asked this question, the answer came is that get 60 meetings in Q1. If we get 60 meetings, we will have our pipeline sorted. We are anyhow very good in conversion. Our problem is top of the funnel. So what can I do in Q1? It's only thing at that point of time was getting 60 meetings. And there is a science to number 60, which is personal to us. You can ask the same question for yourself and see what answer you get. And then what is the one capability my sales team can develop in Q1 for predictable closures? So in one of the times when I asked this question during pandemic, the answer was emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is not about sales process and all those things are intelligence quotient. Emotional quotient is like, how do you feel inside? Do you feel pressure? Do you feel when somebody gives you target, do you feel pressure? When pandemic is there, do you feel that somebody has taken your job? So how to work on it? There are a lot of mindfulness practices. There are several things which you have to do besides, excelling on processes and all, which is emotional quotient. So that is the answer I got. You can get a different answer. And these are not the only questions. The answer is to help you understand the structure. You can ask any question. Okay. So now a true example of a person called Ashwin Khasnis, he used this technique of one thing to close a deal in B2B sales. I'll let you read this. Please read this. I'll give you a moment. Okay. So you notice what the person has done. He has actually focused on one thing for each of the stakeholders. In complex B2B sales, they say you have to meet 6 to 7 people minimum to close a deal. Here he was meeting, multiple people, and there he identified the one thing for each of them, and addressed that one thing. And because of that, his company got selected, even though they were not the cheapest. Does it make sense? Make sense? Yeah, so there are n number of applications of one thing. As I said, this is a structure you can use. I'm giving you multiple examples so that you start. Now, this is an example in CRM. This is a snapshot of Salesforce CRM we have implemented in my own company, and where what we have done is for any particular deal, there are n number of activities. However, what we have done is we have prioritized top 3 activities. When you log an activity for an account, you can click this tick bar and you will get top 3. I wanted to do only one thing, but it was difficult because behavior has to be changed patiently. So we said from n number of activities, let's say top 3 priority tasks. And when we will discuss within top 3, we will ask the one thing that will be easier for people. So we did this, and here is a screenshot of how it looks in the CRM. This is a report. So these are the priority tasks for a particular deal. I've hidden the names and all. And this is bigger here. You can see get approval on email for SaaS agreement to share clean copies to be signed. Follow up with -- for comments on SaaS agreement from the legal team. Set up a meeting with CFO for final discussion on payment terms. If I have to ask you among these 3, what would be the one thing? These 3 are important. What is the one thing? What would you say? Say 1, 2, or 3. In type 1, 2, or 3 to pick the one thing. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. You are correct. Arjun, Ramesh, Manish, Tanya, you are correct. This is the one thing, because if you don't meet the CFO, who is kind of economic buyer, all of this is useless. So a lot of times in sales, we relish, oh, there is so much action is happening and all. But when we use the structure, the one thing, we will find that the most important things that matters, either we have not done, or it will help us to prioritize those over others. Make sense? Make sense? Okay. Now quickly, guys, which visual symbol can help you remember the power of one thing? The answer is domino effect. I shared that by waking up at 5 a.m., everything else got sorted. Similarly, if you get the meeting with CFO, everything else will be sorted, and so on. So find your one thing, and it comes only by practice. Keep asking this question: what is the one thing? What is the one thing? What is the one thing? You will get it. Okay. Now you have 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. You have to do one of this. Pick any of the question and do it, and please type your response. You can say one case study, type your response. One skill, type the response. One thing to stop, type the response. Only one question, not all 3. Please pick one of them and do it. Your time starts now. 2 minutes. Okay, I'm already seeing accept and work on the fear of rejection. We have to follow the sales process, and other will all follow. 2, prioritize. Okay, skill. 3, okay, very good. Customer can relate the same to the word. Okay. Okay, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, let's do the third poll. What do you find most difficult? Go ahead, Alicia.
Yes.
What do you find most difficult? Becoming a subject matter expert, helping customers understand the bigger picture beyond stated needs, benchmarking customers with others. Okay, you can stop the poll, please. Yeah, so 52% says helping customer understand the bigger picture beyond stated needs. 34% says benchmarking customers with others, and 14%. Now again, you get the drift. What if one structure can actually address all three of them? Okay. And that is the structure called most few none. Please listen to it carefully. This one structure can be done in one slide. It can be done in one slide. And if it is mastered, you will address all three things. Okay. So where did it came? So it came in, when situation is difficult, then we become more creative. So there was a situation in one of the companies I worked. I was head of revenue, and one of the clients, one of the large insurance companies, they were our client for 1 year, very unhappy. And when it came to such an extent that they will, ask us to cancel our contract. So my company said that, why don't you go? And I went there, and I was meeting them for the first time. And I was preparing along with my pre-sales owner, and we were sitting in Starbucks coffee much before the meeting. And I said, why don't you create these slides? And he was working on it. And when I saw the deck, I was a bit angry, but yet I had to be calm, because the deck didn't cover what will mesmerize the CMO. So at that point of time, I thought, what if I have to present only one slide to the CMO? Again, in the spirit of one thing, if I have to present only one slide to CMO, what will I present? Okay. And the stakes were very high, because in startups, if a big client goes, then everybody else goes. You understand? This was the biggest client in insurance. If this goes, then there will be domino effect, negative domino effect. So stakes are very high. So when I asked that question, what is the one slide? The answer came in the form of most few none. It came in the form of these three questions. Which digital propositions most insurance companies are implementing? Which digital proposition few insurance companies are implementing? Which digital propositions none of the insurance companies are implementing? Do you get the drift of this? Do you get the drift of these three questions? Now what I did is, I just answered these three questions in one slide. So where against each one of them, there were 3 bullets, and then I will speak. I did this for all 3. And just to share something, when one of the things which I shared, that I because I'm head of revenue. I've met around 150 insurance companies. And one of the things which I've seen common, almost everybody is doing, is that they are working on their website. And the CMO smiled and he said, yes, you're correct. Our website is also, we are working. Correct. And then in the case of none of them, I shared that I went to websites of multiple insurance companies and life insurance companies, and I put the quote there of, let's say, term of, let's say, 2 crores and for 30 years, and I got the premium. But then when I go to, let's say, outside the website, I'm browsing internet, I don't see a personalized ad. I see an ad of insurance, but it doesn't take my 2 crores or 30 years. When I come back to the website of that company, I don't see the website getting personalized saying you left off there with your 2 crore term, and it doesn't happen. And by the way, I went to your website also. I told the CMO, and it is not happening there also. Correct. So you understand, I mean, I just picked 1 or 2 bullets out of this. There were many bullets in many bullets in few, and many bullets in none. But I've picked just some so that, to give you a riff. Do you understand? What would have happened if I have told all of this presented this to the CMO? Can you guess? What would have happened if you were the CMO and I was presenting this? What would have happened to you? Yeah, realize to go with none first and then to few. Okay, Prachi, what about others? Yes, we'll be interested in knowing what they have and how effective that will. Of not having. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So what is in it for me? Yes. FOMO, absolutely. All of this will happen. All of this is happening in one slide. Remember the question: becoming a subject matter expert, helping customer understand the bigger picture beyond stated needs, benchmarking customers with others. All of this is happening in one slide using these 3 questions. Are you getting it? The word trusted advisor is highly used and almost not understood, in sales. But if you use the most few none structure, you will guaranteedly become a trusted advisor. But what is required for this? Tell me. Tell me what's required to present in most few none way. What if you have to present this for your company, most few none? What does it require? It will require, absolutely, it requires a lot of knowledge. Saying that subject matter expertise is easy, but doing it requires a lot of effort. So in whichever area you are selling, you create most few none structure. Okay, I'll give you another example of this, which is most few none for demand generation. So most few, very few / none. Which activities in demand generation most companies are doing, which activities few are doing, which activities in demand generation very few or none of them are doing. So I've written, you can quickly have a read, have a read here. Please read. And this now, in the very few, this area video for prospecting has increased, but yet not pervasive. And intent data, there's softwares now for intent data, which requires you have to buy them, in B2B sales. And this one, which I have seen companies doing online events, but events for not for selling, events for training and community building, because internet creates brand and then the demand generation happens. Okay? You can have a look. The point is to implement most few none in any area, whatever you are doing, you need to go deep. Only then, but as I said, you can present it in one slide like this. if I had to present, I will present for most this, few this, and very few. You get the drift? Guys, do you get it? Okay, excellent. So what you do as an exercise, post-session exercise, you please pitch your product using most, few, none. What, suppose you are selling CRM, what capabilities most CRM are doing? What capabilities few CRM are doing? What capabilities very few, none of them are doing? So you're telling them market landscape, and then you will say that out of this very few or few, this is being addressed by your company, something like that. You can do this. If you do this, it will help you, your pre-sales team, your client, everybody. Okay. So we covered these 3 sutras: metaphor, magic of one thing in sales, and most, few, none. My question to you, and here you can actually unmute if you want, you can unmute and speak up. Among all the things you have learned today, which one thing resonated the most with you and you will implement immediately? Any one thing. We have learned 3 sutras. Within 3 sutras, we have learned several other things. What is the one thing you learned today which you will implement? Either you can type or you can speak.
I will like to answer it.
Yeah, go ahead.
First is the domino effect strategy.
Only one thing. Yeah, only one thing you have to share.
Okay, most, few, none.
Okay, most, few. Thank you, Prachi. Okay, go ahead. Anybody else?
Hey, Amit, I think for me also it will be most, few, none, because subconsciously while I was practicing it, it was never so structured.
Yeah.
And this presentation told me how to structure it well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, please read the book. It has more examples. But yeah, this most, few, none. Go ahead. Thank you for sharing. What others? Some others, please also speak up. When you take the mic, this increases your confidence. Please go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I've learned is talking about the domino effect, the one thing you have to do in order to make things change. Because at one point in time, when you are faced with maybe many ideas at the end, you see that you are not implementing the right one. So with the one thing effect, I think you concentrate and you get exactly what is supposed to be done for your company or your structure to move on.
Exactly. Thank you very much for sharing. Anybody else, please, if you want to share. I know a lot of people have written in the chat, but if somebody wants to share, somebody is like Chirag is saying domino, Hari Babu is saying one thing, Sharij, Sanjay is saying most, few, nuns, Arjun is saying metaphor. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. I would like to go ahead. I would like to use the metaphors where I can explain to the customers that I face that why we are doing and giving them a story so they will understand better.
Yeah, you will become master in it if you practice it. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? One more.
I would like to conclude this. Even the webinar title was saying how to achieve more sales in less efforts. So actually, basically, if you round up to the one thing, which is actually yielding out all the 80% of the results or more. So basically, if you concentrate on the one thing which can actually tangibly make some difference, so that will reduce your effort and also increase your chances of sales. So,
excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to all. So these are the resources. I am opening 3 resources. LinkedIn profile. I share a lot of things on LinkedIn on sales, so you can please check that out. My book, The Ultimate Sales Accelerator, which is releasing on December 26th. It's pre-order right now. And YouTube channel, Salespreneur. So I'm sharing in the chat window right now. You can please, somebody asked earlier, all 3 links are there. Kindly copy it because otherwise it will go. Before the end of the session, my wish for you, and my wish for you is, may you harness the true spirit of sales, that is serve with authenticity, love, expertise, and smile. Thank you very much.